Good morning, Wildcats, and welcome back to this week's edition of the MWHS Wildcat News.
Here's what we got for you this week.
The NHS Carnival makes its way to our school.
HOSA teamed up with Lakeside Hospital staff to simulate a disaster.
A look at this year's Special Friends Prom.
She Kills Monsters, a spring play coming your way.
And a look at our boys lacrosse team. I'm Andrew Pfeiffer.
And I'm Madeline Anderson. The second annual NHS Carnival came to Millard West this past week and was a great success for all.
Even though it was moved indoors due to weather concerns, the event was still filled with fun, games, and a chance to dunk several teachers and administration. Sydney Looney and Cole Filer were on the scene.
Fun, food, and games are just some of the promises that the National Honor Society delivered with the carnival that took place Friday, April 20th. Taking over a year to plan, NHS members had more than enough time to make sure the event would be a success.
The week of the carnival, Miss MACK and COVI brought out this huge piece of paper with all the jobs, and there were already some filled out, so then we just threw our names wherever seemed interesting.
The carnival had a multitude of activities ranging from inflatables, soda pop ring toss, face painting, crafts, and even a dunk tank. A live band played, providing the soundtrack to the participants' extraordinary evening. Every NHS member played an important role in creating an enjoyable night for all carnival goers.
We always get wonderful feedback. Many parents of young children are always blown away by our members and how caring and dedicated they are to making sure everybody has a good time. All of the games can be adapted to any age group. We hear the kids smiling, you can see them running around doing this, but we get a lot of positive feedback.
The carnival was the biggest fundraiser the National Honor Society has held this year. They successfully raised a couple $1,000s to go towards scholarships for NHS seniors. They also sold bracelets with the proceeds going to the ACP program.
I think it's really important just for the kind of like the unity of NHS, just for everyone to come together and be a part of it and to have to help in some part of it. And then just, it's a huge benefit just to all the members for the possible scholarships and opportunities that will come from it.
Within the 2 years this event has taken place, the National Honor Society has impressively raised a large sum of money for all NHS members towards scholarships, while also providing a fun and safe environment for children of all ages. This has been Cole Filer and Sydney Looney in this week's edition of the MWHS Wildcat News.
In an event of a disaster, Millard West HOSA always comes prepared.
That's why HOSA teamed up with Lakeside Hospital staff to train first responders and students in the event of a disaster. Annie Punt and Jack Ward were in on the action.
On April 19th, Millard West HOSA partnered with CHI and Lakeside Hospital to simulate an emergency drill. The students pretended to be patients while the hospital staff would be the responders. This gave everyone a feel for what it would be like if a tornado hit our town and we had to act quickly.
I actually wish that I would have been able to do this as a student. It's a little bit of exposure and get to talk to people that are actually doing the job compared to just jumping into a job that you might not have otherwise been able to know anything about.
Each HOSA member was given a card which described what happened to them and how critical their condition was. Some had minor injuries like a sprained ankle, some major such as impalement, and a few were even dead. The students watched the medics closely as that was what they hoped to be doing when they graduate.
Well, I'm in HOSA, so I want to go into healthcare, so this will kind of show me what to do in case I'm the worker in my future.
This new experience would show the HOSA members what to do and what not to do in a serious situation. The registered nurses showed them how to triage, which is where they assign the level of urgency to each injury. This taught the students a load of information.
This is the first time we've ever held this event. It's a new partnership that we have with Millard West HOSA and CHI Lakeside Hospital. So we're hopeful that in the future we'll have one of these events every year.
Next year, the club hopes to have a similar experience but with a different kind of disaster. This way, each student that joins HOSA will have a feel for what their future will look like in all aspects.
This has been Annie Punt
and Jack Ward
with the MWHS Wildcat News.
The annual Special Friends Prom took place this past Saturday at a local church, helping students of all backgrounds get involved with the classic high school tradition.
This heartfelt event brought smiles to all those in attendance. Trevor Lewick and Caitlin Willard bring us all the excitement.
Special needs students from around the Millard district celebrated prom season with their own party. Held at the Community Covenant Church on Q Street, students arrived at 7:30 to hang out with their friends and take pictures before the dance.
It's Millard West ACP students, Millard South ACP students, Millard North ACP students, and then the young adult program is invited. And then as coordinators, we get to pick 7 mentors to bring, which are general education students.
Fish on the walls, a sunken ship in the doorway, and many more decorations brought the Under the Sea theme to life. West Friends, the group of students who helped the ACP classes, along with similar groups from North and South, set up the church early Saturday morning for the festivities that would come.
We got all the choral decorations from the Millard North post-prom a few years ago, and I took some decorations from ours, and Becca Hits took some too as well.
The students got the chance to experience the getting ready process for prom. Girls got their hair and makeup done, and boys got to dress in a dapper suit and tie or nice button down.
What was your favorite part about getting to prom? Like, was it dressing up? Was it doing your hair? Was it getting makeup on? Picking out a dress?
My sister did my hair.
Elsie did your hair? Really? That's super cool. Was she good at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did your mom help? Dang, she did it all by herself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Saturday night, ACP students, along with ACP students that have graduated, all got the opportunity to dance the night away. Food, drinks, and fun times were all provided for this year's prom.
My favorite part of this prom is just always seeing the kids when they dance and see how much fun they have. And the parents also, when the parents walk in at the end and they see their kids having fun, and sometimes they start crying and it's like, wow, you did something that was important. And it's just a lot of fun.
This dance was put on to give these students a more traditional high school experience.
Especially just seeing the lower functioning kiddos, because the higher functioning ones, they go to like our proms, they go to homecoming, but the lower functioning ones, they don't get to do that because sometimes they can't talk or they can't walk. So it's fun to see them have a chance to dance and hang out with their friends and feel like a princess or a prince for a night.
Millard West, along with the other Millard schools, plan to continue this enjoyable event for years to come. This has been Trevor Lewick and Katie Willard with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Millard West Theater is only a few days away from their spring play debut.
She Kills Monsters will be performed on April 26th through the 28th at 7 p.m. and April 29th at 2 p.m. McKenna Cole and Mackenzie Gonzalez give us a closer look.
This week, Millard West is putting on the production of She Kills Monsters. This play covers mature topics that high schoolers face every day, such as bullying, grief, and sexuality through a Dungeons & Dragons adventure. The cast and crew have been working long and hard for the past few months in order to get the play to perfection.
I think it's been a lot of work. It's a lot of, hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, can you do that for me? Like, I'm always sending people to go find things, and we've also been doing a student written play that we're going to bring to all Millard, so we've had to find set pieces for that and make stuff for that. So we've kind of just been all over the place trying to finish things and get things out of the way.
Forming a connection with the character in this play was very important. In order to make the play feel like something a student could relate to, the cast had to make sure they could channel what their character would be feeling in the situation they are in.
Me and my friends already were playing D&D, and so when I came into this production, I kind of just connected to that part of me where I was just having fun with my friends, and I kind of let that play through.
The inspiration for this particular play was to be able to portray what goes on in a high schooler's life and also bring the world of the 90s game Dungeons & Dragons to the stage.
Congratulations! You've defeated the bug.
I read the new version, which is for like younger audiences and younger actors, and it was like perfect. And so it deals with bullying and grief and like all sorts of things that people wrestle with. And I thought, you know, people deal with these things in high school, and I think we should show the story. And plus it's super awesome as an ode to the 90s, which is when I grew up, so it's a little bit like fun to indulge in like my favorite music and stuff from that time.
Come join Agnes in her D&D adventure in the Black Box April 26th to the 28th at 7 p.m. and again on April 29th at 2 p.m. Tickets go on sale at showtix4u.com or at the door. It's $10 for adults and $5 for students.
This has been Mackenzie Gonzalez and McKenna Cole with the MWHS Wildcat News.
The lacrosse team is in its mid-season swing as the boys hold a record of 1-4.
The boys quickly look to turn things around as they head into the postseason. Jake Janasek and Gabe Paredes bring us the latest updates.
Despite winning first and second at the state meet the past 2 years, Millard West Lacrosse has had a rough start to the season compared to years before.
We could probably end the same way as we did last year. I mean, we were going to try our hardest to do our best to progress throughout the season, and our goal is just to get to state and see how far we can get to state.
The rough start could be due to many seniors graduating from last year. Senior Garrett Morris, one of the returning starters, knows he needs to take a leadership role this season.
Well, I was one of the only returning starters from last year, so I kind of had to teach the younger guys, the guys who haven't played varsity before, how to step up and be a player and also a captain. So you just need to be able to work with everyone, even when our season's not going the best, like just to keep.
Although it is called Millard West Lacrosse, it is still not a school-sponsored activity, which can bring some hardships to the program.
Yeah, we have to practice at Beatles Northfield, which I don't know if either of you went to Beetle, but it's a pretty bad field. And we have to like work around their track meets and stuff.
Like potholes everywhere. I mean, you're lucky if you don't twist your ankle every practice. I mean, stuff like that. And then just like school support.
Lack of school support brings up the argument that lacrosse might not be as respected as other sports in the school.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely not as respected as other sports. Just it's like the same with hockey here at West. Like we'll get kids to go to the games, but like it's nowhere close to football, and like people just think it's just a made-up sport and it's not real.
Another argument that is brought up is that lacrosse is not popular enough in Nebraska to get the recognition it deserves.
But it's just not like, I don't think it's very big here yet. I mean, you can go down to Kansas and they have crazy lacrosse, like everyone plays, and then East Coast, West Coast. I don't know if it's not respected, it's just not like a lot of people don't know about it, or like we don't really have a lot of kids that start when they're younger. So I think like it's still growing, I would say, and it hasn't really reached its peak at all in Nebraska.
This has been Jake Janasek and Gabe Paredes with the MWHS Wildcat News.
And that wraps up this week's edition of the MWHS Wildcat News.
Be sure to check out the Jim Johnson Memorial Blood Drive occurring on May 4th. You can either get signed up with a HOSA member or use the link on the announcements.
Check out the Catalyst online and follow us on Twitter at MWHS Catalyst for more news updates.
I'm Madeline Anderson.
And I'm Andrew Pfeiffer.
Have a great week, Wildcats.